business strategy that made Netflix kill Blockbuster. In 2000, Reed Hastings walked into the towering headquarters of Blockbuster Video in Dallas, Texas. He was nervous, but hopeful. Netflix was struggling. They were burning cash, had less than 300,000 users, and were nowhere close to profitability. Reed offered a deal. Buy Netflix for $50 million, he said. Together, we could dominate the future of home entertainment. The Blockbuster executives laughed. They thought it was a joke. Less than 10 years later, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy, and Netflix, it was worth over $20 billion. So how did a tiny DVD by mail service take down a billion-dollar giant? This isn't just a story about two companies. It's a masterclass in vision, disruption, and how one bold strategy can flip an entire industry. Let's dive into the business chess match that changed entertainment forever. Chapter 1. The Giant with a Fatal Flaw. In the 1990s, Blockbuster was a beast. Over 9,000 stores, millions of loyal customers, billions in revenue. They had everything: market dominance, name recognition, and a chokehold on Friday night entertainment. But behind the smiles of those late-night clerks and those bright blue signs was a dirty little secret: late fees. Blockbuster made up to 16% of its revenue just from late fees. People hated them. Parents, college students, everyone. But they had no choice. If you wanted to watch a movie at home, Blockbuster was the gatekeeper. And they knew it. That arrogance would cost them everything. Chapter 2. The pain that sparked Netflix. Now picture this. It's 1997. Reed Hastings rents a movie, Apollo 13, keeps it a bit too long, then gets slapped with a $40 late fee. He's angry, embarrassed. And that moment sparks a question. Why isn't there a better way to rent movies without the punishment? That frustration gave birth to Netflix. But Netflix didn't start with streaming or original shows. They started small, mailing DVDs to people's homes. No late fees, no due dates, just convenience. Blockbuster didn't even blink because they didn't see the threat. Chapter 3. David's bold bet. Reed Hastings knew he couldn't beat Blockbuster on convenience yet, but he could beat them on customer experience. Netflix offered unlimited rentals for a flat monthly fee, personalized movie recommendations, zero late fees, home delivery. This wasn't just a business model shift. It was a psychological shift. Instead of treating customers like rule breakers, Netflix treated them like members. Suddenly, people didn't feel punished for watching movies. They felt empowered, and slowly, Netflix began to grow. Still small, still bleeding money, but growing. Chapter 4. The $50 million mistake. By the year 2000, Netflix was still losing cash fast, so Reed made a bold move. He offered Netflix to Blockbuster for just $50 million. At the time, that was a lot for Netflix, but pocket change for Blockbuster. The pitch? Netflix would run Blockbuster's online business, while Blockbuster focused on retail. It was the perfect hybrid, but Blockbuster executives, bloated with pride, laughed in his face. They didn't just reject the deal, they dismissed Netflix as a joke. That moment sealed their fate. Chapter 5. The strategy that changed everything. Netflix knew they couldn't scale through DVDs forever. Postage was expensive, delivery was slow, so they placed their next bet on streaming. The technology wasn't quite there yet. Internet speeds were slow. People didn't binge watch shows, but Reed Hastings saw the future. People want choice, convenience, and control. Streaming will give them all three. Netflix quietly began building its streaming platform in 2007. Meanwhile, Blockbuster, they were doubling down on late fees, opening more stores, and trying to sell candy at the counter. They were playing checkers. Netflix was playing 4D chess. Chapter 6. Blockbuster's desperate counterattack. By the time Blockbuster realized the threat, it was too late. They launched their own DVD by mail service, Blockbuster Total Access. For a moment, it worked. They signed up 2 million users in 8 months, but there was one massive problem. They couldn't sustain it. Each shipped DVD lost them money. Their infrastructure wasn't built for online, and Wall Street hated the pivot. Their stock plummeted, their CEO got fired and the program was slashed. Blockbuster was caught in the classic trap, too big to pivot, too slow to adapt. Netflix, they were small, nimble, and laser-focused, and they kept innovating. Chapter 7, The Power of Subscription. Thinking Netflix didn't just offer a product, they created a habit, a $7.99 monthly fee. No pressure. Watch what you want, when you want. No trips to the store. No returns, no late fees. It was like comparing a horse-drawn carriage to a Tesla, and it worked. Netflix went from under 1 million users in 2003 to over 20 million by 2010. Meanwhile, Blockbuster closed over. Chapter 8, Vision versus Ego. At the heart of this story is a brutal truth. Blockbuster had power. Netflix had vision. Blockbuster tried to protect their profits. Netflix tried to solve a problem. Blockbuster bet on stores. Netflix bet on behavior. And most importantly, Blockbuster laughed at disruption. Netflix became the disruption. This wasn't just a tech story. It was a war between two mentalities, old world arrogance versus startup hunger. And we all know who wins that battle. Chapter 9, Netflix's killer instinct. After Blockbuster's fall, Netflix didn't stop. They made another radical pivot, original content. In 2013, they released House of Cards. It was dark, political, and risky. People thought Netflix was crazy, but it worked. Viewers loved it, critics praised it, and Netflix realized something powerful. If we own the pipeline and the content, no one can stop us. So they doubled down. Show after show, movie after movie, billions spent on original programming. And guess what? They didn't just become a platform, they became a studio. Today, Netflix isn't just a streaming service, it's a global production powerhouse, competing with Disney, HBO, and Amazon. Blockbuster, gone, forgotten, a relic. Chapter 10, Lessons for Every Business. The Netflix versus Blockbuster story isn't just history, it's a blueprint. Here's what it teaches us. Disruption doesn't knock, it breaks the door down. Blockbuster didn't see it coming until it was too late. User experience always wins. Netflix made renting movies effortless. That beat any brand loyalty. Be willing to kill your own cash cow. Netflix pivoted from DVDs to streaming, even though it risked their entire business. Vision, greater than scale. Blockbuster had money and reach. Netflix had insight, and that made all the difference. Never laugh at a small competitor. Today's underdog is tomorrow's category king. Conclusion, the empire that laughed too soon. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy with over $1 billion in debt. In 2025, Netflix is worth hundreds of billions, with 250+ million subscribers worldwide. What changed? Not just technology, mindset. Netflix saw where the world was going. Blockbuster clung to where it had been. And in a world that rewards speed, innovation, and customer obsession, the old giants fall hard. So the next time someone laughs at your idea, the next time you feel too small to matter, remember Reed Hastings. Remember the $40 late fee, and remember the company that got laughed out of the room, then changed the world. If this story opened your eyes to the power of vision, disruption, and bold thinking, imagine what else the business world is hiding from you. Here on this channel, we break down the rise and fall of great companies, decode the moves of billion-dollar empires, and uncover the strategies the top 1% don't want you to understand. If you're serious about learning how the business game is really played, subscribe to the channel, like the video to support, turn on the bell for future breakdowns. Because in the age of disruption, you're either building the future or being left behind by it.